कृष्णा नी बेकने बरो कृष्णा नी बेगने बरो कृष्णा नी बेगने. Darkness coming round and everybody's fighting with their brother. Everybody wants control, don't hesitate to kill one another. So come back as Jesus, come back and save the world. Bless all the future of every boy and girl. Come back as Rama, forgive us for what we've done. Come back as Allah, come back as anyone. Krishna ni begane baro Krishna ni begane baro Krishna ni begane. Religion is the reason the world is breaking up into pieces. Color of the people keeps us locked in hate. Please release us. So come down and help us. Save all the little ones. They need a teacher, and you are the only one we can rely on to build a better world, a world that's for children, a world that's for everyone. Krishna ni begane baro Krishna ni begane baro Krishna ni begane. Time is the healer, time moves on, time don't wait for anyone. You tell me you'll be back, but that will take some time. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. So come back as Jesus, come back and save the world. We need a teacher, and you are the only one we can rely on to build a better world, a world that's for children, a world that's for everyone. Krishna ni begane baro Krishna ni begane baro Krishna ni begane. Good morning all. Welcome to Co-Creating Your Reality, also known as Natural Law Manifestation. Actively manifesting or creating our own life. Actively manifesting or creating our own life and the reality in which we would like to be a part of. Right? So last two conversations have been conversations on race, ethnicity, so on. I usually do 3 classes. Remember, this is a crash course in sociology. We usually do 3 classes per topic, right? So today is the final topic on the issue of race, after which I am not really interested in returning to this topic or these types of conversations, because everything that needs to be addressed would have already been addressed, right? So this conversation is an important one because it combines race and religion and color too. Race, religion, color, right? Ethnicity, religion, color, right? This topic is an important one, right? And you all will see from the song that I just sang, right? It spoke about religion being the reason that the world is breaking up into pieces, and it also talked about color, us being trapped in issues of colorism, all these things at this point in history when it should not be so, right? Now there's a reason why I really like this song. Since I was small, this was always one of my favorite songs, right? But And it's for a particular reason, right? So the song basically says to come back as Jesus, come back as Ram, come back as Krishna. But you know what's the thing that it also says? Come back as anyone. And that's the reason why I like this song, right? So it says, yes, feel free to come back telling God to send his son or his messenger, or telling the messenger of God himself or herself to come back, right? Come back as Jesus, come back as Ram, come back as Krishna, come back as a representative of Allah. But you know what it also says? Come back as anyone. Come back as anyone. And that is the most important part of the song, and that is the reason why I like this song, right? Apart from the soothing nature of it and stuff. Come back as anyone, meaning this is what I've been preaching from time immemorial, right? That anyone is capable of becoming a messenger of the divine. Once as you're willing to change yourself, align with spiritual one, and teach that message to others, then you automatically become a messenger, right? Whether you like the term or not. I don't like the term. I don't like the term of me, for example, being a messenger, but I am here spreading a message, right? And if you are spreading a message, regardless if you like the term or not, you are in fact a messenger, right? If you are spreading a message, you are a messenger, right? So yeah, that's what it is. And the song is basically saying to come back as anyone, right? Come back as anyone and spread the message, right? You can be anybody, right? You can be born anywhere, you can live anywhere, you can be anybody, right? There is no one messenger of God, as we were light and told in history. There's no one messenger of God, right? There's no one son of God. So this topic is really entitled Be Your Own Black, Brown or White Jesus, right? Be your own black, white or brown Jesus, and it ties in colorism and religion, right? And also ethnicity, religion and colorism, and I will show how these the master manipulations of each of these categories, right, or social engineers of our world has effectively manipulated us to segregate us based on these social demographics, right? So that we don't spread the message, right? So that we find all these other reasons to compete against each other, to not to cooperate with each other, and to divert ourselves from not uniting and not spreading the actual and the true message of God, right? So yeah, so you know, in sociology and the classroom and stuff, you know how I was talking about before, how we usually learn that the white man is responsible for all the problems or the third world underdevelopment and so on, right? Which might be true to a certain extent, but after a while we must learn to take accountability. Whilst that might have been the case in the past, we are in the year 2023, and there are particular values and there are particular value systems and so on that we could learn, right, from each other and incorporate to build a better society, one, and to take accountability or responsibility for the state that we have our own selves, right, and to better create a reality which we want. At some point we must take accountability for our own state of affairs, right? So we were talking about how in sociology classes and stuff we often learn about the white man, right, or the European nations being responsible for Caribbean underdevelopment, right? Now, one of the things that emerges out of this discussion, right, most times is the issue of religion and Jesus Christ, and how we were taught, well how we were socialized to accepting a white Jesus, right? We were socialized into accepting a white Jesus Christ, right? Now, this obviously would rile up, say, black people or African people or colored people generally, right? If you teach a particular group of people, if you socialize them into thinking that, hey, the white man was responsible for all our problems in the world, and now they even come with religion and teaching us that, Jesus socialize us into thinking that Jesus is white, right? Now, obviously, this is going to rile people up, right? If this is what they are socialized into thinking, right? Or educated or miseducated into thinking, right? Into this division, this form of division, right? Obviously, this is going to rile people up, right? To be against each other or against a particular ethnicity because, oh, you indoctrinated me into a white Jesus, right? Now, this is going to spark a next debate and spark me now to go in search of a black Jesus now, right? A black Jesus, right? I am black royalty, right? I am black supremacy, right? So, to battle white supremacy now, black supremacy emerged, and that's what I was talking about in 2020, with this whole thing with the Black Lives Matter, and it had this whole era in 2020, that time period in which white people were being like basically forced to bow down to black people and stuff. For that short period of time, there was this you all would remember what went on, right? That whole scenario with the Black Lives Matter, which is in fact an organization, right? An organization. There were many issues surrounding that organization, right? Just as any other social organization, right? Not in the benefit or the interest, really. Who knows if they really exist in the interest and the elevation of black people for real, right? But it is an organization, right? So for that time period when this was a whole debate and controversy and whatever, and you find I saw videos and stuff with like white people literally bowing down to black people on the streets and so on, right? So to counteract this white supremacy now, this black supremacy rose, right? Not knowing that black supremacy is equal to white supremacy, right? There's no combating of anything, right? If you're fighting which race is more superior than the other race, right? So to defeat the white Jesus now, you have a black Jesus come up, right? And say, well, no, Jesus was really black, right? Jesus was African, Jesus was Egyptian, Jesus was Middle Eastern, right? Whatever, right? Now, that's why God is laughing. That's why God is laughing, right? And this world is comedy and also tragedy, right? In this age, 2023, because in this age, 2023, we are still debating on whether Jesus was black or white. Well, last night I was actually checking out some trips to India from in England here, and the cheapest flight I saw, I don't know if this was an error or not, but I saw a flight for £112, right, which is basically just over $1,000 TT, right, which is considering that flight and so on is basically no kind of money to pay for to go to India, right? If it's $1,000 TT, right, or 100 and something pounds, right? It is a easy. So that's what I'm about to say. It is easy for me, right, or easy for anybody, right? It is simple for me to take a flight from England and go to India. India is in fact to go to India has been for my life a dream, right? Now it is easy for me to take a flight, go to India, and go to some illiterate part of India, right? It is easy for me to go to India, go to some illiterate part of India, illiterate meaning in this context, if you can't read and write and so on and can't understand and can't process things, in this context I'm referring to, right? It is easy to go somewhere where people are illiterate in India and proclaim that, hey, Jesus is actually Indian, and say that, hey, I am spreading the message of God, so I probably am Jesus, right? So I am Jesus, and it is easy for me to, it might be easy for me to rally up a whole Indian crew, right? It might be easy for me to rally up a whole Indian crew in India and spread the message that I am Jesus Christ, right? And Jesus is actually wrong, right? Jesus is actually wrong, right? So fleck the white Jesus and fleck the black Jesus, right? Jesus is actually Indian, right? Right? Point to note, right? So I could easily do that, but I will not do that, right? I will not do that. First of all, I am not Jesus, I am Vijaya, right? So I will not do that. That is one. Secondly, my goal was to return to source. India is not my source. Trinidad is my source, right? So I'll be returning to Trinidad. Secondly. And thirdly, you will realize how dumb, how effectively dumb it sounds when I say that I want to go to India, rally up a crew and say that I am Jesus and Jesus is brown, Jesus is Indian. You'll realize how effectively dumb it sounds. So just imagine some outside person watching two races battle between who is really Jesus or what color Jesus is. Was Jesus white? Was Jesus black? Right? You'll realize how dumb this argument or this debate sounds. And how funny it might be to God himself, right? When people argue about what color his son was, when God has 8 billion, 7 billion something potential sons out there, right? Or daughters or whatever, right? And groups arguing between themselves whether Jesus is black or white. You're dumb, right? You're dumb, right? So, this is the message of today. Being one of the 7 billion potential messengers, right? This is the message of today. To let you all know, in the song it says that come back as Jesus, come back as anybody, come back and save the world, right? But this message today is to come back as your own black, brown, or white Jesus and save your own damn self, because it's in saving your own self that you will save the world. And the only way you could save yourself truly is to align with the flow of nature, align with the laws of nature.